So picture this, your boss, back in the 70s, smoking at his desk, a couple of beers in him from lunch, calling the women in the office the girls, and somehow that was normal. G'day Eli, I'm Mike, Aussie expat in the US, and today I'm looking at stuff that boomers did at work in both Australia and the US. Things that would get you escorted out by HR and security in about 5 minutes these days. You better take cover. Oh. Now, before any 70s era bosses rage in the comments, I'm not saying every single boomer did this, but a lot of this was totally acceptable back then. Different laws, different culture. HR was basically just Sharon with a filing cabinet. So let's start right where it hurts most, the job interview. Now, turning down women before they even applied. Back in the day, both in Australia and the US, some hiring managers would see a female name on a resume and go, yeah, nah, straight in the bin. In the US, there was this mentality that she'll just quit when she has a baby. In Australia, she'll nick off on mat leave. Don't bother. Today, that's a discrimination case waiting to happen. Emails, screenshots, lawyers, done. And applicants wouldn't just complain, they'd have a story time up on TikTok by that afternoon. Women equaling coffee duty. Now, office logic back then, you're a woman? Congratulations, you are now the unofficial barista.
If your job is making coffee, make coffee.
In the US, you might have heard, hey, sweetheart, grab some coffee for the guys. And in Australia, hey, love, put the kettle on, would you? That meant having the same university degree, same job title, same workload, but also making the coffee. Nowadays, that's gender discrimination 101. A worker in 2025 is like, you've got hands, mate. The kettle's over there. Pet names in meetings. Now imagine being in a serious meeting and your boss goes, hey, honey, can you grab those numbers for me? Oh, and good girl, that was a great presentation.
Good girl.
That actually happened in both countries. A lot. Today, that's straight to HR. Do not pass go. Calling grown women sweetheart, honey, good girl. Everyone knows nowadays that's just patronising.
Sweetheart? Seriously, Hank, is that how you talk to women who come in here?
Now, are some of these sounding familiar to you already? Let me know in the comments your stories from back in the day, because I'm sure we can all take a trip back on memory lane with you. Interns as personal assistants. Internships were basically unpaid assistant gigs. In the US, a boss might say something like, hey, intern, pick up my dry cleaning, book my anniversary dinner, and grab my mate a present for Christmas. In Australia, you may have heard, mate, duck out, grab my smokes, drop this off to the missus. None of that had anything to do with actually learning the job. Nowadays, that's misuse of company time and resources. Interns nowadays will quit, post a LinkedIn essay, and absolutely drag the company in the comments. Lying on handwritten timesheets. Remember when everything was on paper? Some would just add a cheeky half hour here or there. In Australia, bugger it, I'll just put 5:30, close enough. And in the US, round that up to 40 hours, who's checking? Nowadays, with digital logins and swipe cards, that's time theft. You're not fudging the timesheet, you're falsifying records. If a worker tried that in either country, that's an escorted out of the building type of moment. Writing personal checks from the company account. This one absolutely blows my mind. Some people would literally write themselves a check out of the boss's account. I'll pay it back next week. That's not a cheeky advance, that's straight up financial misconduct. In the States, that can go criminal really quick, and in Australia, definitely grounds for an instant dismissal and possibly a visit from some very serious people in suits. Nowadays, we might borrow a phone charger from work, but back then, some were basically borrowing the entire bank. Smoking at the desk. Your typical office had an ashtray, cigarettes, paperwork. The whole floor looked like a bushfire had gone right through it. Australia had smoke-filled government offices. America had Mad Men-style glass-walled rooms full of haze. I remember going to the bank with Mum and the teller had a ciggy lit up sitting on the ashtray as he counted my money box. Try lighting up at your desk these days and you wouldn't even get to finish the first drag. Instant emails, safety, HR, probably security. There's no smoking outside near a building entrance these days, let alone chain smoking at the copier. Boozy lunches and desk drinks. There was this old rule: long lunch, couple of beers, back by 2. Yeah, no worries. Now for Aussies, that meant a good meal at the pub and 3 or 4 schooners. For Americans, a martini lunch, maybe a scotch because, hey, the client's paying. Turn up to a workplace today smelling like a brewery in either country and see how fast someone calls your manager. With health and safety laws, that's impairment on the job. Today's workers are more likely to have an iced latte and anxiety than a whiskey neat. Snooping through employee files. Remember those old school offices had literal manila folders in unlocked cabinets? Curious manager? Hey, let's see what Davo earns and what his last review said. In both countries, this was just having a look. Today, that's a privacy breach. Both countries have tighter data laws now, and HR systems log who opens what. An employee would lose their job for that, and probably end up as an example in the next training module. That goes hand in hand with giving out home addresses for surprises. Boomer boss, you want to send flowers to Jenny? Yeah, no worries, here's our home address. No consent, no heads up. In the US, you've got data protection policies, and in Australia, we've got privacy principles. You can't just hand out someone's address because you think a balloon delivery would be fun. People are already paranoid about location sharing. Imagine finding out your boss gave your address to some random vendor. That's a HR email and a police report waiting to happen. Calling grown women the girls. Didn't matter if she was running a department, she's one of the girls. US meeting, send one of the girls in to take notes, or an Aussie meeting, one of the girls can sort that out. Today's women in both countries, they're not copping this. It's belittling, and everyone knows it now. That's the kind of thing that ends up in a formal complaint, and then in your diversity training slideshow as a don't ever say this. Demanding women wear makeup and heels. Smile more. Wear a bit of lipstick, it looks more professional. Heels only in the office, please. Both Aussie and American bosses commonly said this out loud. It was not dress code, it was specifically appearance expectations for women. Today's employees are showing up in sneakers, natural face, and a HR policy printed out in their back pocket. Telling only women how to look is a discrimination case, not just helpful feedback. Jokes about weight and appearance. Geez, mate, you're looking a bit fuller these days.
Sally looks fat.
You'd be prettier if you smiled more.
Oh, I like your dress, but I'd like it more if you had prettier hair.
Said loud enough for the whole office to hear. Back then, you just laughed nervously. Now, that's workplace harassment in every HR handbook from Sydney to Seattle.
A lot prettier if you smiled, sweetheart.
Workers will document, report, and probably make a viral Facebook video about it as well. Offensive jokes on the office printer. Dodgy cartoons or a filthy joke printed and stuck on the notice board. A lot of it was sexist, racist, or just out of line. Today in both countries, that's instant disciplinary action. Companies have entire training modules about this. People are hyper aware of inclusion. You print that now, you're not just fired, you're screenshot famous. Telling women they shouldn't work after having kids. You'd hear things like, shouldn't you be at home with the baby? Or, so when are you quitting? Bosses said that out loud in Australia and in the United States. Some even quietly demoted women on maternity leave. Now, absolutely illegal in both systems. Mums are coming back to work with policies, lawyers, and zero tolerance for any of that sort of nonsense. Australia's parental leave is some of the best in the world. About time you caught up on that one, America. Refusing to train younger workers.
I can't help people who refuse to help themselves.
Some workers literally hoarded information. And the thought was that if I don't train the kid, they can't take my job. Nowadays, collaboration and knowledge sharing are part of performance reviews in both Aussie and US companies. You refuse to train a younger employee, you look like the problem, and spoiler alert, the kid's still going to get your job anyway when you retire early. Playing poker in the break room. Picture this, it's lunchtime, sandwiches, ciggies, and a cheeky game of poker or blackjack, sometimes for money, sometimes using company paper for scorecards. In a modern workplace, gambling on the clock is a massive no. It raises questions about ethics, productivity, sometimes even compliance regulations. You're more likely to find someone playing Wordle on their phone now, but setting up a mini casino in the break room? Yeah, no. That's a HR plus, security plus. Don't come back tomorrow, buddy. So we weren't just built differently back then. Workplaces were also completely different. Some of this definitely needed to go. Some of it, maybe we lost a bit of fun along the way with. But it's wild to see how far Aussie and American offices have come along. Let me know in the comments, what's the wildest thing you've seen in a workplace anywhere in the world that would get someone fired today? And if you were working back then when these things were common, confess, come on, what'd you get away with? Hit like if you enjoyed this trip through workplace chaos. Make sure you check out my other one about workplace differences between Australia and the US. I'll put the link up here for you too. I'll catch you in the next one. Hooroo, mateys.